Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the KC Gamers Network podcast. I am your host, Jeff, and this is my co-host, Daniel. How are you doing today, Daniel?
A little under the weather. My voice is a little nasally right now. And if you can tell, I know.
We're going on a road trip. Don't want to catch that.
I should be good by then.
Hopefully.
Catch it. It's minor. Just chug a lot of vitamin C, zinc, and drink a lot of tea.
I will try to keep that in mind. We've got a lot of interesting topics for this week. I'm still hopelessly obsessed with Metal Gear Solid 5. I have logged 60 hours of playtime now, and
only through Chapter 1.
I just said Chapter 1 complete, and then played a little trailer for Chapter 2. So... it's getting scary, but I am still very much enjoying the game. I'm still very much hopelessly obsessed with it, and it's a lot of fun. So, first thing on the agenda for today, we're going to talk about Konami has been taking down Metal Gear Solid Fanart across the internet, and I haven't really read into this too much, but I heard that Kojima had posted some Metal Gear Solid.
He retweeted some fans fan art, and then Konami took or claimed copyright on that stuff.
Did they claim copyright on the fan art itself or the tweet? Because it's hard to say.
It was I think it was the fan art because it said no image available. The tweet was still there. The tweet was still there, but the images said they could not be shown.
I'm not sure how Twitter works, but it could be that he uploaded it to his own Twitter. Like he took the image and uploaded it.
No, he retweeted somebody.
Okay.
So
either way, that kind of sucks. Have they been going out of their way to just take it down from all over the internet? Or...
I think that's the case, and that was the biggest one of it. And it's are you serious? Wow. What? Why?
That's slightly concerning, yeah, because Metal Gear Solid, obviously, a hugely popular thing. There's a lot of fan art, and that's part of why it's so popular. Konami going out of their way to take it down, that's a little concerning.
I don't know I'm not exactly sure if it's multiple ones, or it was just that one that they saw, and they're like, nope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's unfortunate, and I really hope that they can kind of realize that that's not a good idea, and that can kind of allow that fan community to continue to prosper. It'd be a real shame to see that fan community kind of be crushed by Konami itself.
Ain't nothing stopping the fans. Nothing's going to stop them.
That's true. Now, while we're talking about Metal Gear Solid, there was a glitch that somebody found in Metal Gear Solid 5. And I don't know if there are plans to get this patched or anything. Hopefully, because it is sort of game-breaking, especially for the 1v1 multiplayer FOB mode. So apparently, once you finish a certain side ops mission, you can unlock the ability to customize weapons. So that's you can change the scope, you can change the stock, you can use different ammo types, add underbarrel attachments, etc. The problem is if you have certain weapons, like with the tranquilizer pistol, it doesn't give you an option for underbarrel attachments or anything. And likewise, for a rocket launcher, it does not give you the option for silencers. So, somebody found out that there's a way to get around that, and to attach silencers to rocket launchers and underbarrel grenade launchers to tranquilizer pistols. So we have people running around with silenced RPG launchers and grenade launching tranquilizer pistols, and it is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen, because it's just a rocket launcher that fires a silent rocket.
How do you attach a silencer to that? Is there a visual representation?
There is. It's the greatest thing.
Is it just a tiny little silencer on it?
Tiny little silencer just attached to the barrel of the rocket launcher.
I don't think that's gonna fit.
It's the most amazing thing. It reminds me of Payday 2. There was an inside joke that I think spawned some visual glitch in the beta for the game. I think there was a silenced grenade joke that they've been throwing around internally ever since the game came out, and it's like this picture of a grenade with a silencer attached to the
Jeez.
to the handle. And I remember in one of their trailers, I think for the Christmas DLC map, they had a they had a little news ticker at the bottom of the screen that said, "Scientists discover a way to make silenced grenades a reality." But anyways, yes, apparently you can break the weapon customization system in Metal Gear Solid 5, and you can attach things to your weapons that you should not be able to, such as silencers and grenade launchers and whatnot. Some scary stuff going on there, and
I don't even want to know how they did it.
Really, just kind of beautiful.
I don't want to.
So, but this week, we're starting a new block of the show.
Yeah,
we're
a new
block.
block.
This, hopefully, every episode.
Well, it depends if we've played a classic game or not. Our new block called Classic Game of the Week. Pretty much anything that was, I say that isn't this gen. How do we want to classify that?
So basically older games, games that you may or may not have heard of. But we're going to we're going to pick some old game we played recently. We're going to talk about it, discuss its mechanics sort of. And since we've been talking about Metal Gear Solid so much, I'll let you go ahead and kick off our inaugural.
Although I haven't finished it yet, so it's not really a.
It's true, yeah.
It's just kind of my
talk about your initial impressions. Dan's going to be talking about Metal Gear Solid 3. He's never played it before.
Well, I had started to play it.
True.
Several times, kept trying to get through it.
But Dan has been playing Metal Gear Solid 3 recently to kind of catch up on the story for Metal Gear Solid 5, and so go ahead and kick off our inaugural block for Classic Game of the Week, which I feel like should have this big overdone, like booming echo voice sound effect played over it.
Classic Game of the Week.
Yes, just like add an echo to that, put it over.
If I remember, because I didn't remember to put our spoiler notice, but it's like we already said there's spoilers, so
this is true. Hopefully, we haven't lost all of our fans from spoilers in last week's episode. But Metal Gear Solid 3. You've been playing that. What are your thoughts so far? Initially,
it felt really dated because the controls are really clunky.
Oh yeah,
it's a mess at times because it's like it's still outdated controls. Even for that time, I'd say it's still very. Metal Gear Solid 2 had the same kind of controls.
Kind of, yeah.
Which was 2002.
Metal Gear Solid 2 runs a lot smoother though.
Well, the graphics aren't as good. You're not rendering like leaves and all that.
Oh yeah, everything's hexagons.
Yeah, the fire's hexagons.
And one thing I've noticed actually recently is that whole hexagonal thing was kind of carried over into Peace Walker and Metal Gear Solid 5. The design of Mother Base seems to be very heavily inspired by the big shell.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's an intentional thing.
The big shell.
Yes. So, anyways, go on. In Metal Gear Solid 3, what do you think about the whole camo system? Because you have to pause, and you have to go into a menu.
Yeah, that also, I have to do that for everything. You have to do that for backpack.
Now that you've been playing for about 7 hours now, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I think it's more like 13 hours, actually.
Okay. But now you've been playing for so long, do you feel like you've kind of gotten used to that system? Because that's how I felt.
Yeah, I mean, I got used to it, but it's still annoying. I have to pause the game, go in, go to the backpack. You can only have so many things, and both your what's it called? The weapons,
your items and weapons,
arsenal, and then your
items,
and you can only have so much like weight.
And you can have as much weight as you want, but the more weight you have, the louder your footsteps are to enemies.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So if you have like 50 rocket launchers equipped, just in case,
I don't
they're
think
going to
that's
hear
possible.
you from like halfway across. But yeah, you want to be careful about managing your weight.
And you
That's
also
why
have to eat, or you
yes.
die.
Now, what do you think about that concept in general, having to eat constantly? You don't die, but you become
Well, your
very,
stamina goes
like,
down, and also your tummy will grumble.
yes, which can actually attract
Trigger.
enemies.
Yeah, and I noticed that. I'm like, what the hell is that noise? I'm like, is that a frog? And I'm like, oh. But it does it only halfway through your stamina.
Oh yeah,
And I'm
that's
like,
when you start to get hungry.
it should be like 3, it should be the last one. It's like,
Oh, you gotta keep your tummy full.
it's like,
Come on, Dan.
you got Calorie Mate, you can eat snakes, Snake Eater. The game's called
I do
Snake
like,
Eater.
I guess Calorie Mates. I have had an actual Calorie Mate
I have
before. It is a real snack.
Too. They're actually pretty good.
They are pretty good. Yeah,
It depends
I
what
think
flavor.
Snake likes them, right?
Oh, he loves them. They're delicious. Yeah,
I want some more.
I think, yeah. I want some more. You can eat snakes. You can eat spiders.
Yeah,
He doesn't like spiders. Depends on what snake you eat.
I mean, if you eat a poisonous spider, things probably aren't going to go too well, anyways.
Eating any spider is nasty.
You need to be.
There's a tarantula.
Yeah, I don't think eating a tarantula is going to end too well. I think you'd have to be worrying
Raw.
about things more.
He eats everything raw.
Yes, and I think if you ate a poisonous snake, you'd need to be thinking about more pressing issues than it not tasting very good. Because, I can understand venom not tasting very good, but complaining about it not tasting very good, I would think would be the least of your worries if you were to ingest a bunch of venom. So, personal opinion, of course. I've never ate a poisonous snake before, but
I don't think you would ever
I feel like for me, when I played through Metal Gear Solid 3 for the first time, I feel like the whole pause to change your camo and to apply to heal injuries and whatnot, that felt like a really clunky system at first. But I feel like the more
it's still clunky. You get used to it, but I feel it's still clunky.
And I ended up really liking it at the end. I felt like it was something that, at face value, would be something that you would think, okay, this is never going to work.
Another problem with the game. The menus are slow. It takes forever when I press start, and then I press backpack. It takes forever. If it was instantaneous, it would have been as big a deal. It takes forever to open the map.
Yeah, I think it did take a while in the original as well. But like I said, I played through the original on PS2.
Disclaimer. I'm playing the HD collection one on Xbox.
That is correct. That is correct. Now, I think the Xbox 360 version of the HD collection might actually have longer loading times than the PS3 version. At least I know this is the case for the HD collection version of Peace Walker, as it did have, since the loading screens were longer, it had pictures of characters on the loading screens and little bios that kind of tell you some background information on those characters.
I wonder why.
Yeah, that seemed like a weird thing.
It's a PSP game. It's not like it's...
I figured that the only explanation would be that the Xbox 360 version's loading times were longer, but because the PS3 version does an installation. Actually, no, I don't think it does.
Is it the disc drive is faster on PS3?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I think that's the case. It has to be.
It could be. So
that's probably why.
The part you're at Groznygrad. You're about to you're looking for Colonel Volgin, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
So you're getting pretty close to the end, actually. I think you've
already. It doesn't seem like a very long game.
Have you encountered?
Don't spoil nothing. Don't spoil nothing.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, you're actually not as far in as I thought you were, because I forgot about something.
Don't spoil nothing.
Not spoiling anything.
Like you can go on all this detail, but I mean, although I have more leniency for classic games because it's like it's been so long. It's just like,
but what do you think about the whole healing system? Because it seemed really confusing to me at first.
It was confusing, but I got the hang of it now. It's
The
thing is, you don't have to do anything in order. It's illogical. You can apply the bandage first and then use the knife to get it out. I'm like, I think you should be able to put stuff in order here. Use the knife. Use the what is it? The ointment.
Yeah, that always seemed a little weird to me. Always tried my best to do it in order, of course, but
I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna get this over with.
yeah,
It's interesting.
I don't care about this bullet. I'm gonna get it out one way or another. Puts a bandage over it.
And you get like a bullet in your head, and you're like, use a knife, get a bullet out of his head.
It's all good. Just shrug it off.
He's Snake.
Take
I mean,
it like a man.
this freaking game. Does it make any sense?
It's Metal Gear Solid. It's never gonna. Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense at first, but then they'll explain it later.
Okay, yeah.
And I guess semi-spoiler, they do explain it in 5. But, yeah, I loved 3. It's still my favorite of the series. Metal Gear Solid 3 on the 3DS is my favorite rendition of it because it has Peace Walker's control scheme. So
I thought it's because you're like 5 frames a second.
It does run slower at certain parts, but
because when the 3D's on, right?
Yeah, when the 3D is on, because it's rendering everything twice, especially when you get to the Fury.
Twice.
The Fury lags slightly on the PS3 version, the HD collection. I don't know about the 360 version. What would you say it drops down to as far as frame rate goes?
It feels like it slows down and not necessarily drop. There's not really a drop in frame rate. It seems like it slows down.
Well, I know on the PS2 version of the game, the original release, it did definitely drop down.
Oh, no doubt.
The frame rate did. Like, it actually started chugging. It, it turns into almost a slideshow. And then the 3DS version is even worse because, 1, you're on a handheld system, and 2, because it's rendering everything twice. It's not as bad if you turn off the 3D, but it's still pretty noticeable. So, but the 3DS version is my favorite edition, mainly because it's the only version with reasonable controls. Like, it actually has little symbols on screen to show you what buttons are going to do what when you're holding an enemy. It's actually, like, really, really good.
Actually helpful. You can actually play.
Yeah, it's actually helpful. Like,
the problem is it's on a handheld, so not a cinematic experience.
I mean, part of the problem with the original release of 3 was on PS2, you had your PS2 controller, which had these pressure-sensitive buttons, which, you know, Kojima being Kojima, he wants to take advantage of them. So he, when you're holding an enemy, you hold down the square button to hold that enemy, then you like do all this wacky shit to aim and, you know, interrogate them. But if you hold down square really hard, which, you know, you're probably going to do subconsciously, you slit their throat and kill them on the spot. I mean, that just seems like bad design to me, and I killed so many enemies accidentally by doing that. I'm like,
I kill enemies anyway without that.
I try to go through these games non-lethally.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad for killing people.
Oh yeah, that's
I
why
don't want to kill nobody,
And
but it's like you leave me no
many-
choice. I got my shotgun right here.
How many people have you been killing? Like how many?
Every time I go on alert, if there's a bunch of them, I'll just shotgun them. I'm not messing around.
Give me a number estimate here.
Oh, man,
How many enemies do you
like 100 or something?
100? Like you think? Like give me a realistic estimate about how many enemies do you think you've killed so far?
Jeez. Oh God.
Has it been like a bloodshed?
I'd say about 50 at least,
with
probably.
More to come?
Actually, maybe like 30 or 40.
Okay, so that's not that bad. But you think that it's going to end up being many, many more to come, so considering you're in a military...
Well, I'm getting better at the game, probably, so
Okay.
I don't think it's going to... Well, if the game gets harder, then maybe not. The alert system is crazy.
I'm going to warn you... Well, actually, no, I'm not going to warn you.
Well, the thing is, the caution sequence takes so long, it's like, I don't want to wait anymore.
Well,
it's like, I want to get out there, but then it's in high alert. There's a lot more enemies. I have to keep killing enemies.
Yeah, keep killing them. You're going to have a lot of fun later on. But, yeah. There's our listeners who have played the game before are probably... giggling in their seats wherever they are.
I try to tranquilize when I can. But the thing is,
you'll learn your lesson.
Oh, man.
That's all I'll say. But
I try not to.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 is a great game. Definitely my favorite still of the entire series. I love all the other games, especially Peace Walker.
I think I like the first the most.
Mm-hmm. It's just simple. It's a very good stealth
Well,
game.
the thing is, at that time, you didn't have that good voice acting. You didn't have that good of a cinematic experience.
Cinematic, yeah.
That was the most cinematic game at that time.
Metal
One of the
Gear Solid
most.
3
One of the most.
excels in its cutscenes.
And the voice acting's fantastic.
Some of the cutscenes in the 3DS version, like having those in 3D, like at the very beginning of the game where the boss is like firing those bullets at you in slow motion, that cutscene in 3D is the most amazing thing.
My favorite part is when Ocelot's just spinning his guns for like 10
Yes.
friggin' minutes.
Yes. It's so
It's
great.
like it doesn't get old. I just sit there and watch it all day.
Well, they do it every game, except for Peace Walker, because Ocelot's not in that one. But
Spoiler.
spoiler for
Then again, I
Fanart.
know he's in 5, so it doesn't.
It is. One thing I will say about 5. It is really awesome having him on your side, even if he's only there as like voice support, like supporting you over the radio. It's still really awesome to have him on your side.
Yeah.
So
Well,
now, back to kind of regular news topics. Pikmin 4 was announced the other day, but in a very strange way. It was announced through an interview that I don't remember what website.
it was a few months ago that it was actually recorded.
Yeah, the interview was held several months ago, but there was an embargo placed on it, so they couldn't actually reveal that interview until today, which is very strange. But that was how Pikmin 4 was announced globally. I don't remember what website it was that had the interview. I think was it Eurogamer?
I don't know.
I don't remember. But yeah, Pikmin 4. What's your initial reaction to Pikmin 4?
Where's my
being
goddamn Metroid and F-Zero?
Well,
That's my reaction.
I can come back at that with Federation Force.
No, that's not real Metroid. That is a spin-off.
But
What,
I
real
would love to see another F-Zero as well. Apparently,
It's
they
like,
feel like
okay, it's like we just had Pikmin 3 just a few
yeah,
years ago, and that's not even that popular of a franchise compared to
I
Metroid.
don't know.
Did that
it's
even sell
something-
that well though?
I think it did. It was like the best-selling game in the system for a long time.
Pikmin 3?
Yeah.
Oh well,
It's
it's like it's like Metroid. That's like one of your most famous game series.
I think they've already pretty much covered Samus' story, haven't they?
Just make another Metroid game. I don't care. Well, there's a lot you could do. I don't know the story for sure. It's like it's not a.
I mean, thinking about Pikmin 4 specifically, though, I feel like I'm really excited for it. I love the Pikmin games. They've got a really cool strategy element to them, and I think it'd be cool if they went back to like the whole like you have this amount of time to complete the game. I'm a big fan of kind of like static environments with your main enemy being time, like kind of like Majora's Mask or Pikmin 1 for that matter. I think that's a really cool thing. Or all the Pikmin games kind of have that with the time of day changing. But I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff they can do with Pikmin 4. And I think did they say it's coming to Wii U or is it coming to NX?
I don't know.
I don't remember either. I think they may have said it's actually going to be on the NX. So we'll see what happens with Pikmin 4.
You know what also could be on the NX?
Oh, I just remembered. They actually did say that they were not announcing what platform it was going to be on.
It's NX.
So.
Well, you know what else could be on NX? You know what Miyamoto said in one of those videos? That F-Zero could only be on a new control scheme, which is some vague.
Be excited.
I think that's just some BS, but
maybe we'll see what we'll see what the NX is.
Like, why couldn't Metroid work on a gamepad?
Yeah,
gamepad. That doesn't make.
We'll see. We'll see. I would look very forward to a new F-Zero game, especially like on the Wii U, you could use the gamepad to have like this in cockpit view, kind of like what they're doing to Star Fox. I feel like that would work great, but I guess not. It's hard to say what they have in mind.
I don't know if he means that because I know on the GameCube, the A and Y buttons you could access each button very easily.
Yeah, that's
closely.
True. That's true.
And you can't. I tried playing through the Dolphin emulator. I tried using the Xbox 360 controller.
Oh yeah, it doesn't work.
You cannot reach your finger up and hold A at the same time while boosting.
Nope.
Unless you have a really big thumb.
Boost, unless you have a boost in like.
Maybe that's what he meant, but then you could just put it to like the B button. So
yeah, That's what it was in the N64 game.
Well, those were close together though.
Yeah.
And that also you had a Z button. Well, then again, it's like there's ways around that. So
that
I don't know what
controller was designed for the moon people though. So
I don't know what.
I feel like with Pikmin 4, I'm very excited for it. Big fan of Pikmin. I still I feel horrible for this, but I've neglected to play Pikmin 3. I've had it for a long time. I got it for free with Mario Kart.
I also got it for free.
So
I haven't really played it.
I need to start it. I've neglected playing it, and I feel horrible about it.
I played a lot of the first one is back in the day. I kind of liked it. I don't remember. Well, it's one of those games that I was really looking forward to playing because Konami reviewed it. And it's like, that looks amazing. I could have an army of whatever those are.
Yeah.
Like, do shit. But then it's like, I played it and I'm like,
I like the survival element that they have there because you have to consume a bottle of juice every day. And you have to fill those bottles back up by collecting fruits throughout the world. But, I
just didn't like it as much as other people.
There's a lot of interesting stuff they could do with Pikmin 4, I feel. So I'm looking forward to it. I always look forward to whatever Nintendo's got in stock, though. I'll admit I'm a little bit of a fanboy. I try not to let it show too much, but I am.
Nintendo apologist. Not as much as some people I know. Oh my god.
So, another thing we wanted to talk about this week, you wanted to talk about a game on Steam. It's called Airscape. The Fall of Gravity, I think is what it is. Is that right?
Yeah.
And
it's a game that actually won a few awards.
Yeah, I think it won an award
PAX.
from Intel. I think it won an Intel award for best physics in a game, and then it won an award at PAX Australia. It was part of an indie game showcase there.
Yeah,
but it's been having some trouble getting recognized on Steam, I believe.
It had a few Metacritic reviews, and it has pretty decent to above average ratings, I would say. But one of the people that made it, made an article saying how they had worked on this for a few years. A couple students in them, they worked on this, and it's got pretty good reviews. All these awards, plenty of recognition. And they've marketed it as well as you could. They even went to a third party to market it. But the game has sold, is just shy, at the time of this article, 150 copies. And that is baffling. Because this is an indie game.
Yeah.
And, it's hard to get going as an indie game. But it's like, only 150 copies? And your game won all these awards? How does it not sell more than that?
And that's kind of what we want to talk about here. We want to talk about exposure in games, and it's a big issue for a lot of developers, myself included. And it's something that I've seen a lot of articles for. I haven't had a chance to really read any of them, but developers, especially indie developers, have a lot of trouble getting recognized. Like, you can be mentioned on Kotaku, you can be mentioned on Engadget, a bunch of different websites, and it can just still really be difficult for the standard consumer to find your game. You have to deal with search analytics systems. You have to deal with a lot of stuff, and then of course your competition. What pops up, on Google Play when you search business call? Because it's not my game. It's like a bunch of add 2 business lines to your phone.
It's like
type apps.
It's crazy because this also talks about Steam and how when there's new releases, it will show them on the front page, but it wasn't on there very long. It was barely even on there.
Right.
And once it's gone, and it's gone, unless your game starts picking up. But it's like well,
if you do a weekend sale, then it'll probably show. If you're part of the weekend sale,
but
then,
there's so many sales though.
Yeah,
everything's always on sale.
Sales on Steam have become so commonplace that, I used to do a series on YouTube called Steam Daily Deals, and it was kind of my effort. When Steam first introduced their daily deals system, I wanted to do a series of videos every day, kind of showcasing, okay, this is what the daily deal game is. This is kind of an overview of what it is overall, and kind of what would you like? Is this something that you would like or not? And it got to the point where so there's 2 games on the daily deal. Now there's 5 games on the daily deal, and okay, this is too much for me to keep up with. I can't do it anymore. So
Well, you should just choose which one you want to do.
I feel like it would be nice if we did like a kind of video like showcasing some games on Steam, like maybe on weekend deals, kind of showcasing some of the games that are on sale and providing some suggestions. I feel like that could be a fun thing for us to do, kind of like on YouTube maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like with as far as exposure goes, it's really just about getting out there and connecting with people. You gotta have a really big social media presence, and you've got to set up a Facebook page. You got to have a Twitter and everything. You got to keep them updated. You got to keep your followers engaged. I feel like with our show, even we've been having some trouble with exposure, and
Oh God,
I
yeah.
feel like eventually, it's going to get better. But I feel like we just have to keep doing these episodes, and eventually people are going to notice, and hopefully, we'll
That's
get
why I
some
want part of. Well, I also just want to expand into doing videos,
Oh
like
yeah,
reviews and stuff. But there's huge saturation of that. So it's like, what can you bring to the table that's original, and that's going. People are going to like it. Are people going to find what you still have to market? But will people find your content? Will people find your content enjoyable to watch or play? That's the trick. But the thing is, even if it is, well, in this guy's instance, he's not getting exposure. His stuff's not selling. Oh, he's getting exposure. It's not selling.
right.
And why is it not selling? Is it the price? I mean, it's $10. It's not outrageous. Maybe
Right.
you could try $5. I don't know if he's tried that. I don't know how that works. I don't know if you can easily just.
I want to say with Steam, you are free to change the price of your game whenever you want. But if you're changing the price of your game like once every week, consumers are going to start to say, okay, what's going on here? They might return might do a refund for their copy of the game and then buy it the cheaper price if you changed it to a cheaper price or something.
The thing is, though, there's nobody's. Once they buy it, they don't really pay attention to the.
Yeah.
Well, it only
Sometimes.
sold 150 copies, so it's like.
Yeah.
He's not going to lower the price. He's not going to keep lowering the price.
That article may have, boosted the recognition for his game. Maybe he's gotten a couple more sales. Maybe people start talking about
I
it.
bet he's probably. I don't want to bet, but it's probably boosted because this article's probably got more exposure than the game.
That's another thing.
Well,
Yeah.
Not more exposure, but more
Posting on a
more.
website like Gamasutra, which is effectively just a collective blog for game developers.
Some people might see it as whining, but it's like he's done
Yeah.
everything. What is he supposed to do?
Yeah.
What are they supposed to
There's
do?
there's a lot of articles, like a ton of articles, like almost all the articles on Gamasutra are about exposure. And
Yeah.
so exposure in games is very difficult. It's not, it's not something that can really be boiled down to a science. It comes down to a lot of factors, and a lot of them are very, very dynamic, and it's very hard to kind of have this surefire way of getting your game out there and really getting people to kind of know about it. So
And
you just
it's
can't
like,
be shy. You can't be bashful. You can't be shy. You've got to get out there. You've got to say, "Here's my game. Check it out," and tell it almost as many people as you can on the internet. That is how you have to promote a game, and I don't even then it's not guaranteed.
yeah, this guy did all that. They did all this. It's just people not interested in the game. I don't know what's going on.
That could also be it. Yeah, it's hard to say.
And even if you do get exposure, people forget. People are not going to
Yeah.
remember your game unless it
Yeah.
really stands out to you.
That's
I mean,
true.
this
yeah.
game looks pretty good, so might buy it at some point here.
Yeah, it's got some really
I
cool
put it on my
physics.
wish list, so when I get more money, I'll remember
Right.
at some point. So
Yeah. Now,
it's crazy.
so coming up next week on next week's episode, we got some pretty cool stuff. So you'll definitely want to tune in next week. Next week we're going to be talking. Like I mentioned earlier, Daniel and I were going to be heading down to St. Louis on the 12th. We're going to be checking out the Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses being performed by the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. it's going to be some
It's the
exciting
Master
stuff.
Quest
The
version.
Master Quest version of it too. So it's going to be the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. They're going to be playing a bunch of Zelda music live on stage in a
With
theater.
video.
Going to have to dress fairly nice. It's going to be in Symphony Hall, so
Well, I don't
business
think
casual,
anyone's going to do that.
business casual is what the website said. So
It did?
yes,
Are you serious? Like, what is that?
yes, that's like a polo shirt and
Like I got to wear, like, slacks?
wear a polo shirt and jeans. It's not that.
Oh, I can wear jeans? Because I know
Wear,
business casual where I
what you
work.
wear what you would wear to an interview. That's just about it.
I'd
Yeah.
wear slacks.
Sure, wear slacks. Just wear jeans. If you go there
That's
in
not
like
jeans,
shorts,
though. Jeans, they frown upon. You can't wear jeans to an
maybe.
interview.
Oh,
I almost...
I went to a company party and it was like business casual. I wore black jeans and a polo shirt and nobody freaked out.
Because when I went from my internship, they got the job, but he was like, I almost didn't give you the job because you wore jeans.
They told you?
Yes, he told me.
Ah,
But it's like, I liked your model, so who cares? But
right. I mean, I'd wear slacks if I were you.
well, the
But
thing is, I thought jeans would have been good enough.
maybe.
And then,
I mean, a lot of cases you want to wear slacks to those kinds of things. But either way, you know, you want to dress fairly nice. Don't like wear a T-shirt that says "Slipknot, fuck life," whatever. Don't.
I was
don't
going to
wear
go
that.
rolling into town with a Royal shirt, but, I guess not.
Well, I mean, again, it's a symphony hall, so
Well, I mean, you're talking to a bunch of gamers here that
that's true.
don't care
Still,
or know.
still a symphony hall. So you don't want to be
Shit.
underdressed. You don't want to be underdressed. I feel like in this case it would be better to be overdressed because you're in a symphony hall. So
Well, I'll bring in the car. I ain't wearing that crap, but I'll bring some clothes. So I guess I am bringing clothes. I joked like, to our other friend, like, I'll bring your suitcase and everything because we usually
well, anyways,
cons. But
we're
it's
gonna
like,
we're gonna have our review of the Legend of Zelda: Symphony of the Goddesses Master Quest Edition on next week's episode. So that's gonna be very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And then another thing I'd like to discuss on next week's episode, there is a new game, possibly game. Don't even know if it's a game. It could be a movie or something. But Black Hound apparently is a new thing. It's apparently the rumors that it's Hideo Kojima's current project with Guillermo del Toro and with film director Guillermo del Toro. There's a website. It's ingsoc.org, ingsoc.org. Ingsoc being, of course, the Socialist Party, political party in power in the George Orwell novel 1984. And so Black Hound appears to be a horror game. It is hard to say what it is really. Apparently, you can check out the teaser site for yourself. There's a countdown timer, which actually is going to end pretty soon, a couple hours after this recording. Actually, about 18 hours after we finish recording this. So, I'm interested to see what it is. Supposedly, it is PT or Silent Hills or whatever. Apparently, what is left of that. So we'll see what it is. There's a lot of speculation, though. Apparently, it might be fake. It's hard to say.
I don't think it's real.
Yeah, if it's anything of note, we'll probably mention it on next week's episode, I think. So we're going to probably talk about that. I think it's interesting. I think these whole viral marketing things, like mysterious websites and whatnot, I think they're very interesting. I think that could be a really interesting topic, actually, for next week's episode. So we'll see what comes of that. Definitely feel free to check it out for yourself. So I think that just about wraps up tonight's episode. Daniel, is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
How long is this? This has been a short
This
episode.
one's been kind of a shorter episode. Yeah, we went through a lot of our earlier topics pretty fast, actually. So, but yeah, I think that just about wraps up. Yeah,
about it for today.
Yeah, there wasn't really a lot of stuff to talk about in gaming this week, anyways. But yeah, some very interesting stuff going on with Black Hound. I'm not still not entirely convinced that it's real, but
Yeah, I
not
don't
entirely
think
convinced
so.
that it's not real. So we'll see what ends up coming of that.
Well, I just notified somebody we know that you gotta wear business casual.
All right.
And
Well,
he's
we'll see
like,
the, reaction
he's like,
to that.
ha ha, no. And he's
Oh,
like,
that's,
he's
not
going in normal attire. Well, I guess you're not going to the concert then.
Yeah,
buddy.
you get kicked out of a symphony hall for that. But
You're driving 4 hours to get kicked out. Okay.
all right. Well, thanks you everyone for listening to our show this week. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us in real life.
Twitch.
It's all cool. Twitch. Don't think we're on Google Plus, but I don't
Well,
think
we are.
anyone else
It's
is.
mandatory. Well,
Oh,
it used
hey,
to be.
yeah, we are. So circle us on Google Plus. Is that what that? I don't
Plus
know.
one.
Plus us on Google. Plus us on Google Plus. Whatever Google Plus does, I don't know. Do all the following stuff. Tell your friends, have them listen to our show. Tie them to a chair, make them listen to our show for like hours on end. It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah. It will.
So thank you everyone again. Play video games, have fun, and we will talk.
Don't forget to go outside every once in a while.
Over here. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways,
Uh,
thanks for listening to our show. Good night. Good morning, whatever time of day it might be. Bye.